Hey guys, Derek here. Rebecca wants to be in the intro for some reason. So I'm just doing a comparison video here of all the major sims. Assetto Corsa does have the horizon shades post-processing filter. Don't mind the LED lights changing the color of my face in my room. Yeah, so we're here to test iRacing versus AC versus rFactor2 versus AMS2. iRacing footage got cut a little bit short, but at the end I have a, outside of the cockpit view basically. Alright, so let me know if you have any opinions and enjoy, I guess. Do you have any words?
I agree.
Also, I suck on a monitor, so just keep that in mind. Monitor driving is really weird for me now. And I don't have ACC because it doesn't have the Norwich Life and it sucks in VR. And Assetto Corsa has the Horizon Shades post-processing filter with Sol mod and custom shader patch. All right, just to give my closing opinions with these, party lights going on. Um, Basically, I think right now for me, the most hours I've put into one of these titles is iRacing, and now Assetto Corsa. It used to be rF2. Recently discovered how incredible Assetto Corsa is now with the AMD fidelity, a lot less GPU usage. I can crank up some other settings and use the post-processing effects. So I've tried a bunch of different ones like Soul Mod and like, HDR setting, all these other different post-processing filters. But the, what was it called here? Horizon Shades. I think that's the best looking one I've seen. So, that's when I was using that video. Again, it was on a monitor that I was filming this on, so I drive a lot better in VR, but that still does work at 100% res in VR. I know post-processing filters are very heavy. But basically, this whole, sim racing experience that I've had is basically summed up with, I think iRacing is by far the king of, racing. The way it handles, your license, the driving experience, the force feedback, I think everything it's just so accurate in iRacing. I think Assetto Corsa, honestly, I prefer the visuals of AC over AMS2. Not to mention I can run 100% res no problem in VR, let's say. So I think now my top two are shifting towards, iRacing for the racing and the driving, feeling and feedback, and then Assetto Corsa is now the king of my casual sandbox, do whatever I want. Like, I spent 4 hours straight going from RSR Nordschleife at night. Let's go to Monza. Let's go to Road Atlanta. Let's go to LA Canyons in a convertible and just put on a playlist and cruise around. It's got so many scenarios that you could want covered. And rFactor2, I still think it is the best in terms of force feedback and how much communication is brought through the wheel, which is why I think that's really the only reason I'm still considering rFactor2 as relevant. It's just the feeling through the wheel is top notch, and I think that has to do with their their tire refresh rate or something, where it's iRacing's FFB is 60 hertz, and then rFactor2 is 2400 hertz. So you're just getting a lot more detail going through, which is awesome. And then obviously AMS2, the graphics are amazing. It does have that immersion factor, but the feeling that you get is still there, that you can attack the car. You can still push hard, which is a lot of fun. It does stand out a little bit differently in terms of just how the car kind of bounces and interacts versus the other ones. And it's kind of an outcast in that category. Not saying that, I don't know what's accurate versus what isn't, but there's something a little bit different about AMS2 over the other titles. I think it handles, let's say you just drive in a straight line and whip the wheel really fast. The body roll is a lot quicker, I think, than the other ones, which is interesting to me. So I was even testing it in my car in real life just to see, is this accurate? What is this? But yeah, I think for me, it basically goes for the let's say, tier list. I think it's going to be iRacing and AC. AC for casual, and iRacing for, obviously more serious races. And then, RF2 and AMS2 are taking a little bit of a backseat for me now. So I think AC and iRacing are my favorite. I saw a video about how the cars rotate in iRacing versus AC, and how when you're driving on the limit, iRacing can be ice racing, as they say, where your car just kind of goes into an uncontrollable spin and you can't really catch your slide or drift. And AC, you can catch your drifts and drift the car a bit more, and you have a bit more freedom when it comes to attacking and pushing, because you can catch slides a little bit better, and they apparently, that's a more realistic feel. The AC has the physics in how the car behaves around the track, despite iRacing having a better feel. Not to mention, iRacing sounds are so good. I think, I've played ACC too, which has obviously amazing sounds, but out of the ones I've listed, iRacing by far is the best sounds, and that's actually a pretty immersive thing too. It's the actual real life counterpart sounds the exact same in the onboard footage, which is amazing. But yeah, so I think iRacing and AC are my top ones. I think iRacing, though, as much as I've seen other people say, oh, the tire model, oh, this and that. I think even since I started playing it, they've made improvements. Spa near one of the last corners, I would always spin out, and now they actually did an update, and I can actually push through that now. So I don't know if they've fixed some things, but I do feel like I can kind of go on the attack a bit more. Not to mention my lap times are better in iRacing than they are in AMS2, even though I felt like I was pushing more in AMS2. But iRacing, I'm actually getting more comfortable and still can attack more. Sorry to ramble this too much. iRacing and AC for serious and casual. RF2, AMS2 are both kind of, let's say, wild cards. They're very they're very personal preference, let's say. So comment if you have any opinions about any of these. Which one do you think look best? And thanks. Bye for now.